Hey folks, welcome back to the Music Trap channel. So today we're going to be talking about a recent release from Blur. So of course, Blur, they are a British institution. As most of you should know, the band was formed back in the 80s, late 80s. And yes, since then and since their debut album in 91, I think it was, it's been a ride, especially because they have been over the years in different, you can say that they have been on and off. And since this first album from 91 called Leisure, they have pretty much been the pioneers of the Britpop movement, along with, of course, Oasis and Pulp as well. There has been this rivalry between them and Oasis. You would either listen to Blur or you would listen to Oasis. Of course, there was a lot more to it, but people would either be more into the sound of one band or the other, generically. Everyone would recognize Song 2, Tender, Coffee and TV. Maybe the most relevant albums would be Parklife, the self-titled Blur album, and 13 maybe. This new one is the 9th studio album, so it's called the Ballad of Darren. It's a funny name. This is a short, kind of concise package album. It's just over 30 minutes, which is fine. And when it comes to this band, it kind of always feels like a comeback, because they go off radar from time to time, and especially in more recent years, and people don't know if they will ever come back. It's one of those questions. But then again, they do. They haven't released new music that frequently over the recent years. It might be a difficult one to even a Blur fan to listen to and to adhere to it. It's very strong, definitely deep, melancholic. It might be difficult to listen to. So you might even cry or feel miserable. It's pretty strong, but it's beautifully arranged. I would also say that it's touching. Some of the songs are very raw. They are intense. In order for you to really understand what I mean, you have to listen to it. This is a record that is beautifully arranged. It's impeccable in that regard, I think. It's just a shame that, and especially because on most songs I really like the vocals. The vocals are really powerful, and that's definitely one of the highlights of the record, I think, because you have really good performances there. But then again, there are a couple of tracks where vocals just seem to fade away. Very low-key stuff that doesn't really come across. And that's a shame, because otherwise vocals are really top-notch. In drums too, it's something that you might not have seen in the past, especially in the early days of Blur, like having a very enthusiastic drumming approach. But you do have that in this record, which is great to listen to. And yes, the lyrics are very profound, very deep, and very meaningful. Melodies are also catchy enough and well assembled, if you know what I mean. When the band hit mainstream recognition, it was pretty much when they released their 1993 album called Modern Life is Rubbish, and this was really a turning point for the band, and they were really glued to that British pop sound, which of course it's been 30 years since then. There's been an evolution, but I feel like this record is very specific. It's something that the band really wanted to sound this way, as in more meaningful, more emotional, more into trying to work around these feelings. All in all, this is a very specific album of the band, I think. It is not a departure from what they are, but I feel like they really wanted this record to sound as it does. Powerful, melancholic, very touching even. And this is something that I feel like they will easily transpose from the record into their live performances. It's a moment of the band, I think. And when it comes to my favorite tracks of this record, I would say Barbaric, The Ballad, and The Narcissist. It's pretty much in line with what, of course, their first single was, and what they might see as the more catchy songs. And as for the less favorite ones, the Everglades, Goodbye Albert, this is a crappy attempt, only my opinion, and Faraway Island, I really didn't get this song. I was confused by the way that they try to put this song together. It isn't a common approach to how their melodies and their arrangements usually work, but yeah, I really didn't get it. So yes, I feel like this album is all about trying to produce a work of art. It's very well conceived. So in that regard, this is definitely a good attempt from the band. But then, I mean, I would rate it possibly higher. I would definitely rate it higher if it wasn't for some of the songs being difficult to listen to and to understand, and these that I've mentioned are not good songs. I will give this record a 7 out of 10. Just let me know if you agree or if you have any other thoughts about this particular record or Blur's history or their rivalry with Oasis. Let me know your comments down below, and I shall see you on my next video. Until next time.